10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Ready, set, go.
Okay.
That cracks me up every time. Oh my word. First it's like a party and then it's, are you ready? Okay. Hello everybody. Hello. Welcome to, as we can see, the new release. Sarah's been on Create and Craft today with these new designs, and I've been having a play, as you can see. And yeah, I see Olga's on it. She's not going to be chit-chatting with me today, but she is managing my behind the scenes for me in the group. So yes, you need to let me find my mouse. My mouse is over there. Let's put it off screen. So yeah. Oh, I can't put things on the screen. Okay. Epic fail. It's not my StreamYard. So, okay. Okay, then we'll just put the mouse back out of the way over there. So yes, please give StreamYard permission to use your name if you are on Facebook. Otherwise, I can see your comments, but I won't be able to see who made them. Hi, Fiona. Hi, Owly Crafter. We've got Jan Buckley, Karen Oppert. Hey, Karen. Steph, nice to see you. You need to watch Sarah's show back as you were at work. Yeah, I haven't watched it back either. I've been adminning and doing other stuff all day. I have to have all my tax stuff in by the end of the month, and that is Saturday, is the 1st of July. How did we get to almost July? So yes, I will be watching them back on replay. So welcome. I thought I would just start with what I have on my desk. Sarah's got the most amazing Christmas line out at the moment. And this is from this die set. So of course I don't have the packaging on my desk. It comes as 2 packets, simply because one packet would have just been too big. So you have your base of your snow globes that you can put absolutely anything on it, and then you have these 2 overlays. And in fact, I have used both overlays with this one. I have also used ridiculously thick foam. It's not even craft foam. These are the pieces that you cut off that I have cut off the sides of the puzzle pieces that go underneath a swimming pool. So for those of you who live in an area where you put up those, what we used to call porta pools, they're collapsible swimming pools, you get these foam large squares. I'd say they're probably 60 by 60 centimeters, and you puzzle piece them all together as a nice soft base underneath the swimming pool. And I was looking for really thick craft foam, and most craft foam is quite thin. Unfortunately, this only comes in blue, but it actually looks fine if you look at it. In this particular case, it goes with the whole snowy theme. So yeah, these thin dies, these edge dies, so these are not blades, otherwise I would have cut my finger to smithereens. These are what's known as an etched die, and they actually cut this really, really thick foam like butter. So any of the dies will do that, but I mean, if you think these are little teeny tiny details on here, and they cut absolutely perfectly behind there, you can see how nicely that is cut. All I did was layer it up. I put some foam in between those layers to help support it, cut a strip of paper to build around the outside. Here, what I did for the back is I just traced around, once I had created my 3-dimensional snow globe, I traced around the outside, cut out a shape, and glued that on the back. So this particular shape is not part of the snow globe set. I made that one up, and these outside strips as well. So they're actually designed to be used on cards, but I can't help myself. I always have to think outside the box. So hello, Becky. So yes, so that's the die set that I used for that. Then the other thing I have on my desk is this is from the of course, I'm so organized on my desk. Where is that stencil? So that is from a stencil, and I actually put it in the group, this with the step out instructions, which I typed up and put over the top, so that it gives you an idea. Of course, where is the stencil when you want it? AWOL. Let's look in this neat little pile over here. Still AWOL. Okay, it'll turn up. So you can see you start with the base of the circle. You add the stripes that are on the stencil. All I did was turn the stencil 90 degrees so I get diagonal stripes going the other way, and I added glitter glue. Then what I did is I have used the die cut, and the die set is this one. So you get to die cut the actual Christmas ornament like that. And all I did is I die cut it first. I then put the stencil over the top, inked it, and then this comes with a separate little topper for the baubles. So that's what I added on top, and then I offset it slightly and put black on the underside piece so that it looks like it has a shadow. It just gives it dimension. I don't know where you can see that better. There we go. So I've intentionally created a shadow to give it dimension. So the way I've colored it gives it dimension by having a constant highlight on the side and by having the drop shadow there. So I love trickery of the eye. Premature Christmasing, yes. Well, that's we didn't even have it. Well, Halloween is I know it comes before Christmas, but it's still coming. We know you love Christmas, Olga. So that's how I created these projects. And of course, I couldn't resist. I have actually colored up quite a few of the steampunk crew in Christmas getup, all ready for starting Christmas. Premature Christmas, as Olga likes to call it. Swimming pool foam is definitely much more fitting than today's. Yes. Well, it's a little bit cooler today in Berlin, to be fair. Okay, right, let's put this back in a box with the other thing. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you that comes with this is a stamp set that you can use. It's what I used in the background. It's the stars, and it's what I used in the background there. And you can make, let's not get the glare, you can make little scenes in the snow globe. So it's designed like all the design team used it to be made for card fronts and or scrapbook pages or art journal pages. It's not meant to be three-dimensional like this. Liked and shared live on my feed too. Thank you, Hourly Crafter. Much appreciated. Okay, so let's just put that in a safe place. I thought I would do these bears tonight. So these bears title, let's just look for their backing sheet. Oh my goodness gracious me, here they are. No, that's Bauble Wishes, and this one's Snowflake Kisses. I think these are called Berry Merry Christmas. So I decided that I would play with these tonight because these are not on Create and Craft today. Sarah will have them up on her website on Friday. Hello, Samantha. I know you do like Christmas, Olga, but Halloween is your favorite. I do understand that. But, you know, some of us are slow crafters and we need to start now to make our Christmas cards and gifts. So we'll be ready by Christmas. So these little bears are the cutest little things. Let's take out the little die cuts. So I've bought die cuts. I have cut them out. I stamped them and made my brother scan and cut them out. So we have a koala bear, a panda bear, brown bear. I don't know, could be a polar bear and another bear. So there are 5 little bears that look something like that. Let's take this one. Maybe you can see. Yeah, this one didn't chop off his little fuzzy bits. So those are the 5 bears that are stamped, and I have cut them out. And the sayings are: have a very Merry Christmas. 'Tis the season to be pawsome. And that I actually like with my critters, because with my cat, 'tis the season, all my dogs, to be pawsome. That's a really nice line that you could use with any other characters that have paws. Hello, sweater weather. So these don't necessarily have to be Christmas. That's possibly why they weren't on with today's things, because they're more winter specific than Christmas, although the saying is there for Christmas. And be jolly. So, I mean, be jolly could go with anything, really. As someone who comes from Africa, where snow and the cold is all new, I still find this very exciting. I'm not calling you out. Some of us, being me, I'm not very fast when it comes to Christmas. And Samantha gave up doing Christmas years ago, sending late cards out in May. Well, I guess they'd get there either. People would just think you're really early. So, hi, Alicia. So these are the guys that I'm going to be working with tonight. I have, so that you get an understanding of how I think and how I work. I have a plan, but I don't really have a plan. So I have stamped these guys out. I have die cut a bunch of the snowy things that go with these characters. And some of these are from the other die set called Folk Flake Trio. Glad I've had enough coffee at this stage to. These are real tongue twisters. Some of these, I think Sarah has, like, I don't know, ulterior motives behind some of these names. She just likes to hear us make peculiar sayings. The other things that I have on my desk is the dots, the enamel dots, and these ones have glitter in. These clear ones have glitter in. We have the 6x6 paper pad that is 2 of everything. So there are 12 designs, but there are only 2 sheets of everything. This goes with the teddy bear line. It's beautiful berries. I don't know if you can see that. So it looks like a snowflake, but it's made up of leaves and berries, and I really like that. I haven't die cut it for this evening, but I just wanted to show you. Then we have a 3-piece stencil, and I'm going to grab some black cardstock. Plans are for wimps, Samuel. Lol, and people who don't have brains. So what I have here is a 3-piece stencil, and what I like about this one is you can actually use them individually. So these little starry shapes could be used, stars and dots could be used on their own just as a normal stencil. Same with the mittens. And then I call these sprinkles. They look like cupcake sprinkles to me. And so what you do is you would ink your mittens. Now, when Sarah makes these stencils, she puts the name at the top. So what you need to do is make sure that on all 3 stencils, you have the name at the top or the side or whatever, but you need them all in the same place. I don't know if you can see that. Yes, there. We can use the light to our advantage for a change. So you have your your mittens, and then the mittens get little cuffs or stars or hearts. Some of the mittens get nothing. So it just depends on where they land up in the design. And then you put the background in. So these stars and dots fall exactly in between. Let's see if that helps. They fall exactly in between the mittens. So you can build a 3-layer stencil. So we will be using that tonight. And then what also goes with it is the ice skates, because the bears, 2 of the bears are wearing ice skates. So that goes with it. I have, and I asked for this in my parcel because I really liked it. These are actually on sale, if there are any left, on the website right now on Funky Fossil. It's the wording, and it doesn't have it on the back. So just being dyslexic is probably quite easy to read for me. So we have holly, jolly, Noel, joy, peace, merry, bright, be, and. So you can have be merry, peace, and joy. So you can make up different sayings on your cards, scrapbook pages, or art journal pages. And so I just thought I'll have this out. I haven't actually die cut any, but I have it at the ready just in case I need it. What I have got is some blank cardstock that I will be putting on top of a base like that. So we will be making little Christmas cards tonight. So that is the plan. And I plan to stencil first and then add the berries and other things. So we're just going to have a bit of a play. That's the plan, as grand as the plan gets. So let's pop. And this one, I was going to chop off. If I use this guy, and I've cut him out on my brother Scan and Cut, I was going to chop off these things, but I actually think they've managed to cut out. That brother Scan and Cut is quite genius. So let's pop that on one side. And that, let's start with some inking. And I'm going for a kind of vintage look tonight. I want to try and see if I can get a vintage vibe going. So we'll start with the mittens. And I'm going to just make it go as central as possible. So this piece of paper that I'm working on is 5.5 by 5.5 inches. And to make life easier, I'm going to tape it to my desk. So right, let's stick that to the desk and that to the desk. Just makes life easier. And I'm going to start with a light color. I want, that's going to be too dark. So I think I'm going to go with pumice stone. And grab one of my nice brushes that hasn't been used yet. I love these brushes. So they're great for stencil work because these stencils the mylar is quite nice and thick. So you need these brushes to kick into those little grooves, especially when you're working with the smaller stuff. So we will just ink up these backgrounds. And I know it doesn't really look on the screen like much color is coming off, but it is. I can see it. I want a sort of soft-ish background. I don't want it to take over completely. So, I mean, you could sit and ink these separately, you know, if you're just doing a snow scene or a winter scene, you could do different shades of blues, because blue is traditionally a more cold color. It indicates colder colors. So what I'm doing is I'm giving less and less ink as I come down, so that it sort of fades towards the bottom, because I'm going to probably have a character here, and I don't want the mittens being terribly strong and in your face. So I'm going to have the ones on the side slightly darker. And that's probably enough. If it's not enough, we just put it back again. It's an easy enough stencil to... There we go. See, it didn't look like there was much on there, but in actual fact, it's worked really nicely. So pop that on one side. And next I'm going to go with... I don't think I'm going to put all the details on this one. Oh, should I? Yes, why not? Why not? So now we have to line up the bottoms of the mittens. There we go. That's probably the easiest thing to look for, because these stars and the hearts, it doesn't really matter where they lined up. And now I'm going to use my black. And again, I'm going to just, oh, that's very dark. I want it darker at the top. There's nothing there. So I'm really aiming at each place where there's a gap. So I'm going to grab some of the ink off there. And again, I'm going to go lighter and lighter as I come down, so that it's just a hint of these things on these lower ones. And I need a little bit more ink on my brush for these ones. So if you've re-inked like I have now, I'm just not going to press very hard, because I don't want these ones to be too dark. Okie dokie, done. Hello, Carola. Welcome, welcome. And so now we have the details on that one, and we're going to put the stuff in between. So again, this one doesn't have to line up exactly. You just need to make sure that none of your dots or starry things overlap the mittens themselves. So that's a background. And I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of brown, because as I said, I wanted a vintage look. And this one is my vintage photo. It looked so dark, I was just double checking. So vintage photo. Again, I'm going to go dark at the top and press lighter and use less ink as I come down. And this is when it's really good to have one of these brushes, because when there's so much detail in these little holes, you want to kick it into all those details. Okay, so we're halfway with those. Now I'm going to start sort of just lightly inking them. As I said, when you're stenciling, often it really doesn't look like you've put much ink on there at all. So one can tend to over ink. So I'd rather put less on, err on the side of caution, and not overdo it. Right, so I have both sides of my stencil taped. So what I'll just do is lift it and see. Yep, I'm happy with that. I really like how that's come out. Nice and dark at the top and fading towards the bottom. Perfect. So I will put that on one side. And let's do some of the ice skates. Hello, hello to whoever's just come in, saying hello to me and everyone. Right, so grab another piece of cardstock. And now we have Funky Fossil at the top. I'm going to line it up just a little bit further down. I want to center it a little bit more on my 5.5 by 5.5 square. And I'm going to do that and that. And I'm going to go back to my pumice stone. I'm going to ink the whole thing just because, well, that's easier. So, and you know what? I'm going to steal this and put this over here. So I have a little strip of, it's shelf, I don't know what you call it. It's like shelf, and it's a shelf grip. You can put it under carpets and things as well. It comes in a huge sheet, and I've just cut a strip off because then it makes what I'm doing now that much easier. It still moves a little bit, but it means I can really grab a lot of ink off without having to let go with my left hand and hold the ink pad. So and again, I think I'm going to start fading them towards the bottom. Less and less ink as I work my way down till almost no ink at the bottom. And let's just see, do I still have some embossing powder on my desk? I ask because I tidied up. I have got a new computer screen which takes up rather a large amount of space. And so, no, that is microglaze. Where are, if you put them on? Since when do crafters put things away? They just push back and clear. Yeah, it looks like I was good. And I actually put my embossing powder away because this is oxide and it will hold embossing powder. So excuse me while I'm just scratching. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just having a quick look-see to see if I put it anywhere that I could actually reach it. No, that would have been far too blinking obvious. Okay, I'm just going to take 2 steps across the room and grab, yes, I threw it in here. I just want a clear embossing powder. Apparently crafters do clean up and put things away. Hello, Sylvia. Hi, Susie. Oh, no, we don't want it on there. I need to take that off first. Sorry, I'm distracted. So what I want to do is grab a piece of, I always have paper everywhere until I need it. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this piece of cardstock, and I'm going to dump my clear embossing powder all over it. And I don't know if you can see, but it is hopefully stuck on everything. And we will stick this back in here. Goodness knows what those black things are in there, but anyway, thankfully none of them have stuck to my ice skates. Okie dokie. And now I'm going to heat gun it. So there are two different types of heat guns. You have those long skinny ones that have the jet of air that heats and does embossing nicely, but I have got the one that diffuses. It's the same temperature as the long skinny ones, so they're exactly the same temperature. It just takes a little while longer for the embossing powder to melt using this heat tool there. Once it starts going, you can actually see it working. That's why I'm working at an angle, and you guys can actually see it melting too. There you go. So what I like about the clear embossing powder is it makes things go a little bit darker. Our Fiona Yurki used to go ice skating, I'm assuming on lakes. We used to have an ice skating rink in South Africa. It was indoors because it was a really good place to go in summer to cool down. Yeah, I've seen them set up ice skate rinks here outdoors in both in the Netherlands when I was in Amsterdam, and in the winter there was ice skating rinks outdoors, and here in Berlin they set them up in the big public squares. You have to pay to go on them, but I mean, what amazed me is that people actually have ice skates. It's not something I would have thought to purchase myself. You can hire the ice skates, I think, there as well, but you know, they're never the greatest. Always a little bit dodgy. I don't think there's much embossing powder down at the bottom anymore. No, none whatsoever. But at the top where there was lots of ink, it's all nice and shiny. Yes, you used to go on lakes as well as ice rinks, yeah. Yes, so Ali crafted this particular one. It's almost like a hairdryer. In fact, it says, caution, this is not a hairdryer, because I know it looks like a hairdryer, and it diffuses the air. So it doesn't give a jet of air, but it does give the same temperature. So it just takes a little longer, and it's not as noisy, so I do prefer it. I'm going to just melt this. Now that my heat gun's nice and hot, I'm just going to melt this top one a little bit more to give it a bit more of a smooth look. Be careful with overheating your embossing powder, because it can just dissolve straight into your paper. Basically, embossing powder is ground plastic. That is what it is. And now that we have got our ice skates nicely protected up at the top, not down at the bottom, but they are protected up at the top there. There's a little bit on there still, so I'm going to heat it a little bit more, see if I can get some more to melt. So I'm going to run some distress ink over the top of these to make them pop out. So I am going for the vintage look. That's I've kind of got a vintage vibes idea going on in my head. So I'm looking for a very light blue, and I'm looking to see what I've got in the way of, maybe I should use some iced spruce. Let's Let's see if I can find my iced spruce in my drawer. I could use the sprays. I do have my sprays. Why is that? Oh, I need to come up with a better solution for this. What is this? Speckled egg. Maybe we should use some speckled egg. Because that is definitely easier to get at. And where is my speckled egg distress oxide? Speckled egg? Yes, that would work. Okay, we'll use that. In fact, I think actually it's not ice spruced on there. I think it's speckled egg. Looks vaguely familiar. I wonder if I'm not the only one who does that. Pinch. Because iced spruce is so pale, I've stolen its applicator tool. There we go. So that's going to work. So basically the ice skates are now protected by the embossing powder, and we can make them pop out. Hello, Marcia. Nice to see you here. Oh yes, Ali's saying we have ice skating rinks in the UK, and in winter get outdoor ones in town centres. So you see, that's completely foreign to me, because in Cape Town, where I'm from, it certainly does not get cold enough to keep something frozen in the town centre. I mean, it gets cold. Don't get me wrong, it does get cold, but it does not. You wouldn't be able to have an ice rink in the town centre, that is for sure. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing, and I'm just lightly putting some of the blue on down here. It's going to give the ice skates a slightly different look. There we go. So it's quite subtle, but it's rather nice. So I like that look. And now I'm going to bring in a little bit of the brown. So I'm going to bring, because as I said, I want the vintage look. So I'm going to bring the brown in at the top. So all of these things will be available for those of you who are just popping in. They will be available on Frankie Fossil's website from Friday. Sarah's been on Create and Craft today. I will be watching the catch-ups. And so this stencil, the one that I used with the mittens, the bears stamps, those are not on Create and Craft today. I'm just going to use my applicator tool for around the edges. And they will only be available on the website on Funky Fossil from Friday. I'm just darkening those edges. So now I have a really nice base to put something on something. While I've got a dirty desk and this, I'm just going to brown those edges up. And then we've got 2 card fronts done. And I know Olga always says, I don't have to stick to an hour, but I kind of feel like an hour is a good time, hour-ish, to spend watching somebody else crafting or listening to somebody else crafting if you are working at your own desk. Right, so let's just clear this up. Clean it with some water. You can see Andrew decorating a breed with the stencil. He is so good at those bits of his. Right, so we've got 2 stenciled backgrounds. Now, Should I finish these? Let's finish these. Let's get these finished, and if there's time, I can play with something else. So what am I going to put on these? So remember, they're going to get nice backgrounds to throw up the design. And so they will go on there like that. And now we can look through. So we have this bear who is skating. And we have, let's see, this guy can't see his hands really at all. This one is dressed up really warmly all the way up to his snozzle with a scarf. So maybe the mittens and that guy goes really well. And we have another ice skating bear. So we can have two chaps ice skating. That works well. And we can have this one looking to keep warm over here. Okie dokie. That is working quite nicely. They are rather cute, Marsha, these little bears. There are 5 of them in the set. As I said, 2 of them have ice skates and the other 3 don't. So, okay. Now, where to from here? Let's see what these snowflakes look like up there. Yes, I'm liking the snowflakes with that one. So we have, I don't think that's an actual snowflake, but it's snowflake-ish, because that has 2, 4, 6, that one has 8 points. I don't think snowflakes have 8 points. I think these go with the other things. Okay, so we can have, I think I will stick to all snowflakes. I think I have 3. You know me, I like to have odd numbers. Okay, so we will have 3 snowflakes with these guys who are skating. And now we need a sentiment. And so something I didn't show you earlier that actually goes with, and that's backwards, that goes with this Christmas ornament set, which still hasn't turned up on my desk. How unusual. So these can be standalone, or they can go inside that Christmas ornament. And now, what have I done with the Christmas ornament? It's gone walkabout. It's gone down the side of my desk, never to be seen again. So that's the ornament that I'm talking about. Maybe what I need to do is pick something. We have Merry Christmas, Jingle All the Way, la 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 la, merry and bright, 'tis the season, let it snow. Maybe we should have Let It Snow with that one, because even though there isn't really snow on there, he's wrapped up really warmly. So that could work nicely on there. Hello, Jan. No, Jan saying hello to Martin. I said hello to Jan at the beginning. Yes. Don't mind me, Jan. Okay, so because I don't trust myself to stamp perfectly on there, although it is entirely possible that I could, but I've learned the hard way, especially when you're live. When you're live is when anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So I am going to grab my 2.5 inch, because I've tested the 2 inch doesn't fit. So I've got a nice big punch, and I'm going to grab some leftover cardstock from something else that I was doing today, and let's just get these out the way for now. So we have a progress. And what color do I want to stamp in? I'm going vintage. We have now, let's go with the black. Black, black, black. Where is my black? There it is. So I'm working with the oil-based permanent ink archival. Just checking because I can see that I didn't get ink there. Okay. And that is the rough side. I need it on the smooth side. And we are going to squish the living daylights out of it. Maybe do some CPR. And hold the breath. Ah, it didn't work. See, need to ink it again. Naughty, naughty. Didn't do enough CPR. Right, we will stand up and do CPR on the side. Right. 1 and 2 and 3 and walk my fingers around. Ta-da! Hooray! Then we're going to punch that out. And I like to punch it upside down so that I can see what it's doing. Perfect. Hi, Ellie. Okay, so now I have my Let It Snow. We're going to put that. Maybe we can put it behind the bear. Yes, I like that. Okay, now we need to make that stand out, so I'm going to make it brown. Okay, and what color bear shall we have? Let's make him a brown bear. Him. Why everything's are hims. I had a dog was a her. My cat is a him. So I tend to call everything hymns these days. And I'm not talking about the ones you sing in church. Okay. And I'm really just using the edge of my applicator tool to color this because I'm being lazy. Then I'm going to stamp press. Yes, I have a stamp press, but I generally don't usually struggle. I mean, I stamped all of these today and didn't have a problem. And of course, I have put a million things in front of my drawer that I need to get my very blunt, very dark brown pencil out. So let's just sharpen that. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to give a little bit of shading where the bear's nose is and under his eyes, and just around his cheeks to make his little cheek pop out. There you go. And of course, there's already a little bit of shading there on that side, a little bit more on that side, a little bit under there where the jersey could stick out. Okay. Right. I like that. And trying to see if I've got anything that would I've got Let It Snow, so maybe I need to have a couple of actual little snowflake-ish things, because as I said to you, I don't think this is a snowflake. I think it's a snowflake wannabe. And I'm going to just brown the edges so that it stands out a little more. Right, pop that under there. Snowflake wannabe. Yeah, I like that. And that's probably all that that needs, except that one needs a bit more brown. Just to stand out a little bit more from all the busyness in the background. Right, we have a Let It Snow. That could be the snowball. And I'm going to make the scarf stand out a little bit more, I'm going to give a little bit of shading just underneath the scarf. And he has an arm on that side and an arm on that side. There we go. That looks a little better. And of course, this is me with my shading. So now we have a snowball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just remove that. And I like to do my little shading. Oops, what happened? What happened? Am I back? Am I still live? Yes, it's still counting. Okay. Okay. Phew, I don't know what that was. Thanks. We have dodgy internet sometimes. We had a huge rainstorm the other day, and our internet, I don't know, seems to get a bit waterlogged. Thanks, yes. Did blink and give me a bit of a fright, but I seems to have been for a smidgen of a moment there. Okay, so I'm really just going to put that shadow on that side there and grab my water brush. Check that it's clean. And activate the pencil. Doesn't matter what I do in there. I'm just using this area now to clean my water brush because I just want to soften that edge. You keep losing your live chat. Sorry, Karen. I know that's just Facebook being irritating. Right. That's enough shadowing there. I'm going to give it a quick blast with the heat gun. And let it snow. So now that looks like it's raised. And then we'll pop the bear on there. And we will do the same with the bear on the Let It Snow. So I'm going to put a line under his feet and along there. So just lightly, I'm not probably even going to water this one. And we need to go there and just under his feet a little bit, and all the way along under his body, just to give the indication that he is a dimensional being and would actually throw a shadow. Right, so we have the let it snow, and that, like so. But you know what? I will go and watercolor it because I like the way it looks. Just softens it. And I'm going to take it back in this way. Push it back down again. Fade it out. Sorry, I don't talk when I'm concentrating. It's terrible. I go quiet. You think your bears are levitating on your samples. Yeah. You have ethereal levitating bears. That's cool. Right. So let's stick this one together. So we had that, like that. And then we had that, like that. Yep, that works. Except now I can see that I've got a weird thing happening here by the bear's foot. So I'm just going to smooth that out. Commit, Belinda, commit and glue. So I'm really concentrating the glue on these fiddly bits that will be sticking out, because the rest will be underneath here, so they don't matter so much. And let it snow. Nice thing is now I can see where I need to join up my lines. There we go. Pop my bear on. Now I'm going to use a piece of paper towel just to squish those down because the glue might just ooze out a little bit. There we go. And glue that to its base. Call that one done. Eyeballing it in the middle. There we go. Last one. Let's see what I can do to make them pop out a little more. Right, so we're going to have 3 snowflakes at the top. Do we want all 3 snowflakes doing the same thing? I think so. I think that works because I'm one of those people. I like straight lines. I love looking at other people's work that has angles and all sorts of things going on. But when I try and do it, it just does not suit me at all. And I know I have 2 bears, and I normally do everything in 1 or 3, but I think 2 bears in this case works. Now, next question. Am I going to make them brown bears? What color bears are we going to make them? Oh, we'll go with brown bears again. So we will again just color up to the line of the jersey, ink everything else quite substantially. So I'm leaving the snout area quite a lot lighter so that it looks like it's sticking out. We'll do his little paws. Do that little paw. Now this is where it's going to get fun. So we bring in some tape again. So I will tape off the boot. Where did my other tape go? There it is. And this boot, like so. Right. Let's get that tummy. It's a little bit more difficult stuck to the table, but it'll work. It's got a little puffy tail. And we'll make it much darker at the bottom of his tummy. And this leg. Let's push it back a bit. Right. Now, without pulling the ice skate apart, there we go. I'm going to just shade in that little bit that I missed. Give a little bit of shadowing. Can I see? I'm not off screen. I give a little bit of shadowing underneath his tummy where the jersey would be possibly sticking out. Some shading on that leg to push it back. Now I need some shading under his face where I couldn't get with the applicator tool, and just give it a bit more of a rounding. So I'm sort of curving the shading here, and I'm not going to wet this one. Give a little bit of shading inside the ears, because they would be kind of hollow. Yeah, I like that. That works. And now to do this complicated dude. So the scan and cut did not catch this. It's actually black, but I'm gonna, right, let's make this bear have brown ears. And we have to do the whole masking tape number again. So masking tape that boot off, masking tape that boot off, masking tape. Okay, so this is where it gets a little scary, but I'm going to use a craft knife. Let me put the lid on this glue. And I wonder why my glues block. I'm terrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a mask by just cutting the masking tape. I'm not cutting through the bear. So I'm just cutting on the line of the scarf. The scarf is a relatively simple shape to do this with. And once you've cut everything through, you can pull the excess off. There we go. Come on, come on. Thank you. And I'm going to do the same with his little hat. So we will stick that one like that. Then I will run my blade all the way along the hat to there. I need to end it on this side somewhere, so I'm just going to go there. Great. Now we should have, I should be able to, this is the world in theory, of course, should be able to pull just his face. So now we can ink him up and not have to worry about anything, except I can see my brother did a bad job just there on the leg. So I'm going to just tidy that up, snip that away, because that will annoy me later. And we're almost done. Okay, so we're going to go darker for that arm behind the scarf. We're going to go definitely dark for that little arm at the back over there. Dark for that little leg under there. Dark at the bottom. Fading up. So that he looks nice and chubby. Give a little bit of a shadow there from that. Now we're going to do the face again. So I'm going light over everything else. Going to go just a bit darker on the face. And call it done. So that's what the shading looks like. And take off all the little masks. Being careful because these are quite delicate little hats and things. And put his ice skate back. Ta-da! Thanks, Jan. They're all rather cute. Oh, I forgot to take his scarf off. There we go. And I can do a little bit of shadowing where my masking went a bit awry. There we go. Now I need, what do I need? Apart from gluing everything down, and that is supposed to curve, I think. Ah, no, not break, curve. Okay. They need a little bit of shadowing too. So I think in this case, I'm just going to give them, where's my black ink pad? I'm just going to give a general black shadow rather than try and be too specific, just so that they stand out. There we go. That's better. And that one's better. There we go. Yes, that works. And let's glue. Let's put him in place. Oh, that's way too much glue on those blades, but anyway, I will use my paper towel when I do that. So how is he skating? Is he skating? Yeah, let's give him a little bit more uprightedness. And this is where I used far too much glue. So I'm just going to fix that. Sort out the blade. And right. Now, do I vintage these? No, I think they stand out quite nicely. And I'm going to glue them in place. I'm going to start with the middle one. In the middle of the night. Sorry for the earworm. Okay. We're nearly done, people. We're nearly done. So that was 2 cards in about an hour, because I didn't start bang on the hour making cards. I chit-chatted for a bit. So there you go. You can see I've done... Okay, I did do some prep work, or should I say my brother did some prep work. In that I did the stamping before and I did the cutting out before. So if I had to stamp and cut as well, that would take a little longer. But you can see that you can actually make a fairly reasonable card in not take terribly long. Thanks, Owly Crafter. No, that's not your glue, Belinda. Where did you put the glue? There. So I'm going to glue this to the base. And I think I'm going to use, just for this one, because it's got the... So there's both of them in shot. I want to use these enamel dots. I want one in the middle of... And what size do I want? The bigger one? Yes, I want the medium size. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Oh, they are gorgeous. Ah! No, don't fly off. I'm trying to get you in the middle, rat. Okay. And we're done. So thank you to everybody who came to join me this evening. And don't forget to check the shop out on Friday when Sarah will be loading everything for you, because these are not available until Friday. Thanks, Olga. My behind the scenes lady, my BTS, my BFF BTS doing her magic behind the scenes. So these little guys are the new release. The stencils, the dies, the stamps, and you can see that if you keep it to quite a neutral color palette, you can get quite a different look. So I've had fun this evening. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for all your comments and keeping me company. I've really appreciated it. Until next Wednesday, why not join us then? Bye for now.